so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Thoughts for Rent, Realtors Keeping It Real. My name is Irelynn, Las Vegas, Nevada Realtor, and with me I have Jenni McKenna.
Hello, Jenni McKenna, owner-broker of McKenna Property Management, licensed since 1993, and property manager since 2005. Can you believe we celebrated 20 years last year?
I know, which is crazy because that's just property management, right?
That's just property management, correct.
So
1993 is when I actually got my real estate license and signed on to be a partner with my dad, Tim McKenna.
That's crazy. So yeah, 20 full years of property management, and then like collectively between Tim McKenna and Jenni McKenna, there's like 50 years of real estate in there or something.
Oh yeah, because Dad got his license in 1978. So 1978, and he's still licensed today. He's more retired. We had him on our podcast a couple months ago. That was fun having him on. But yeah, he's definitely not as active as when we were a partnership.
Well, I always loved being in the MLS. Like my public identification number for my realtor status, I think starts in like 3s or 4s. And then sometimes I'll look at certain people's and they have like 4 zeros in front of their number. And I'm like, what? That means you've been here a while.
Yeah, I'm one of those, actually. My broker license number's got a lot of zeros in front of it.
Yeah.
That's when Las Vegas wasn't as big as it is right now. Las Vegas has grown, and it's growing. I can tell when I'm on my 215 driving into work, there's more and more people on the freeway, which is good for us because we need people coming into Las Vegas so that they can eat up all of the available rentals that we have.
Absolutely.
And then once we eat up all the available rentals, then we can start asking a little bit more in our rent, which is really a good thing because most of you guys know property management is usually based on a fee schedule that is a percentage of whatever we collect in rent.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's get those rents up, I say. 2026, up the rent. Up the rent. I'm just joking. We can only up the rent if the market can justify it.
We used to say for 2024, we used our like big chant was more in 24. And then I think we came up with jive.
No, thrive. We're going to thrive in 25.
And I don't know if we've been able to figure out a 2026
I know what it is.
One yet.
You ready? Let's fix 2026. Let's fix it and let's get those rental prices up.
I like that. Well, we're going to talk about something. I'm going to keep it real with you guys today and say that this category is probably the category that Jenni loves a lot more than I do. I kind of fall into a little bit of a hater category with this, but we are going to be talking about New Year's resolutions today.
I don't even like to call them resolutions. I
call them fixes.
Yeah, we could call them fixes. Why not? We're in 2026. I like to think of them as, because you know what? 17 days into January, most people have failed at whatever goal they have set. I mean, that's just a statistical data number. And that always depresses me because it's like you get excited, you set these goals or your resolutions, and then middle of January, you haven't done anything different. And then boom, you start going into the rabbit hole. You start feeling like I'm a loser and I should have been doing this. But you got to be realistic in the aspect of you can't wake up on January 1st and then all of a sudden do things a bunch, totally different. Your life is still your life for the last 365 days. So you know what I like to look at it as? I like to first figure out what really drives you. What's your why? What is it that really makes you happy? Is that a day reading a book on a comfy sofa where you don't have anybody calling you, no emails? Is it doing charity work? Is it going to church? There's a lot of things that are kind of this abstract why. But I think if you find your why first, then you can go backwards. And the funny thing for me is I found my why years ago when I joined Keller Williams, and I was being kind of mentored by Gary Keller, and he had this big day-long, we'll call it seminar if you want, and I had never heard this concept of what's your big why. And he talked to the class, and he's like, guys, if you want to have 1,700 rental properties, or you want to close 100 deals this year, whatever it is that you do in your business, by setting that number is not going to help you get out of bed and get motivated. That's just a number, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he translated it
That's
into
it's a stepping stone to the
Yes,
why.
yeah.
But a lot of people think the stepping stone is the why, and that's what trips people
That's what
up.
trips you up. And that's what makes it to where you're January 17th. And guess what? You haven't done anything towards what your resolution or your goal or whatever was. So he did this thing where he said, look, my wife and I, we want to go to the Grand Canyon. And we planned this trip to be together to the Grand Canyon. We know that it's this many miles, and I'm just going to throw out miles. We know that it's 1,200 miles to get to the Grand Canyon. We know that we're going to have to fill up our gas tank at every 400 miles, right? We also know that we're going to have to eat, we're going to have some lodging, and it's probably going to take us 3 days or whatever. And he translated those things into mile markers, which is the why is the Grand Canyon. The why is the memories with his wife, the experiences, the photos, the conversations of getting there. That's the why. That's the motivator, right? But the mile markers are where you stop to get gas, where you stop to sleep. You have to have those.
Yeah.
If you didn't have those, you wouldn't make it to the Grand Canyon. So what I like to look at when it comes to a new year or even a quarter or even in the month, whatever you want to do, find out what the why is and then just find out what your mile markers are. So McKenna Property Management, one of our mile markers has always been 1,500 properties. Even when we were at 250 properties, I always said, I want to get to 1,500. But 1,500 is not what gets me out of bed.
Yeah.
What gets me out of bed is realizing what 1,500 properties will do for the team members, for the profit share, for some of the rewards that we can do within the company, right? So that's why I think I like using the mile marker analogy rather than resolutions or goals. What do you do when you're ready to set a goal or a resolution for the year?
Nothing.
What? How do you get moving and excited about whatever it is that you're doing?
I know. I feel like I struggle with goals like that, maybe because I haven't found the why yet. I think my big thing is a lot of I don't even know. I feel like it's so hard to set goals when I walk outside after I've gone to work and it's dark outside. It plays such a factor. I think a lot of times my goals have been like, okay, well, I go to the gym or be more physically active or whatever, drink water, do this, do that, cook at home more. And I love that idea. And then I just get off work at 5 and it's dark outside and I'm like, my day's over. So then I've tried the opposite where like I try to do a lot of goals like kind of in the morning and create a better morning routine. And I've had some success here and there for sure. I mean, I will always have more success when there's some kind of reward. I know last year I really wanted to be consistently on time for work. And I said if I successfully show up to work 90 days in a row, I'll buy myself a Hatch alarm clock. And that was actually, I accomplished it. And then I bought my Hatch and that was my reward. And then on day 91, when I didn't have a new reward, I immediately lost it. So I definitely think that the reward system works. And when I have used it before, I've been very successful. But what ends up happening is then I kind of get that reward. And rather than pushing myself for like a new accomplishment or like a new award, I kind of just fall back. And that's like the hard part too, is like I don't want to always, but I guess I didn't want to always have to spend money when it came to my goals. And so I kept thinking like, well, if every 90 days I'm buying a Hatch or I'm buying an Alexa or I'm buying whatever, then like every 90 days I'm spending money. But one of my goals is to like not spend money.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've definitely had good years. I've had bad years. I'm also probably a little sour right now because I pulled my back trying to take down my Christmas decorations. And so now I'm like, I don't want to do anything but just.
And she's behind because she wanted her Christmas decorations to be done. And so you're feeling like, oh crap, I'm behind on the 8 ball.
It's freaking January 2nd. I'm already behind by my plans.
But you know what? I do like your idea about the reward. It really does make a difference. So if anybody's out there and they want kind of a cheat sheet or a trick to it, the reward is great. You definitely don't need to go crazy on the reward. I mean, she bought something that was very specific for being on time, which is great. But I used to do rewards with just buying a sports bra.
Yeah.
I would be a runner and I'd say, okay, if I actually worked out these many days this week and I did it the way I was supposed to, not, half-ass it, sorry, then I would buy myself this new sports bra, or I would buy, the new shoes if I did it for 3 weeks in a row. It is something that I needed anyways. And so I would make the reward something that I needed and then kind of correlate it. But I think you are forgetting the other part of it, which is the punishment. And I know I hate that word. I don't really like using that word. That's a better word.
The deliverance.
Yeah, the consequence is better. So, like, for instance, if I didn't work out the 4 days that week or 3 days, whatever I set my mile marker to be, then I had to do something I didn't like doing.
Yeah.
And for me, it's laundry. I don't know why everybody else, like I know, they love the fresh, clean laundry, taking it out of the dryer, and everything's, for me, it is an absolute drudgery. I hate it. So that would be one of the things. If I ended up not doing it, whatever it was, then I would have to do the darks and the whites. And that's 2 loads each. That usually takes a couple hours and whatever. But, thinking about what you said, I also feel like a lot of people kind of set themselves up to where you did the 90 days, you accomplished it, you got your reward, and then what's next, Irelynn?
Yeah.
It's almost like you accomplished it, so then what happens next? I think you've got to think really big picture, like crazy. That's why we're still not at 1,500. I picked a big number to be that mile marker for McKenna Property Management because I needed little mile markers to keep going. And those little mile markers, you would reach it, but then you'd need to go to the next one and you need to go to the next one. If you only did 2 stops for gas on your Grand Canyon, then you're done. Yeah. So you don't want to make your goal, I'm going to go fill up my gas tank at mile 345.
Yeah.
Because then you fill it up and then what do? You don't think towards the future.
There, yeah.
You don't think towards the Grand Canyon. So maybe in your case, you could have gone for a full year of that, and then did 90-day increments of mile markers. Yeah, of just those mile markers. Because let's be honest, it's hard. Like you said, you walk out the door, it's dark outside, you're not very motivated. If you know that that's a factor for you, maybe during lunch, you go down to the park. Yeah. And you walk around the park for a little bit so that you get what you would normally get when you walk out at the summer. Because during summer, you walk out and you've got another, 3 hours of light.
Yeah.
You feel like you can go play pickleball. You can, hang out at the park. You can go do an outside dinner, which is so great in Vegas for our weather. But yeah, if you know what makes you depressed, then just kind of flip it. Flip it the other way. We're doing something really fun. And and Irelynn doesn't know this, so when she hears about it, she's going to think it's funny that I kind of curtailed it to her. I know Irelynn doesn't like setting quote-unquote goals. Not sure why, because she's from my DNA, and I'm a huge, huge goal setter. I have been since I think I came onto this earth at birth. But what we did and what we're going to do is we have 52 challenges this year, and we're doing it as a team. And all I did is I even chat GPT'd most of it, went in there and said, give me 52 weekly goals that are not too over-compassing and can be done, relatively easy. And I did have to tweak it a little bit. But what we'll do is we are going to have a challenge on Monday morning. We're going to pull out a little poker chip that has a number on it. That number correlates to a poster board that has 52 challenges. And so even if you're not a goal setter or resolution setter, Irelynn will be challenged with 52 little goals throughout the week. So you get your goal on Monday, you just have to accomplish it before the next Monday. And if Monday's a holiday, we'll pull it out on Tuesday. But the idea is you accomplish it before the next work day on Monday. And some of them are to cook 2 recipes throughout the week. very doable. Just make it a priority, set it up, make it happen, right? I think one of them is a no spend day throughout the week, right?
Mhm.
Definitely doable. But the reason I'm so excited about this bingo challenge is because when you come in and you've accomplished that weekly goal, there's going to be a bingo card. And on the bingo card, we'll have some may not. I mean, we have 52 challenges and you only have 25 bingo spaces on a card?
Yeah.
5 by 5?
20. Oh,
I think it's 5 by 5, isn't it?
you're right. Yeah, 25.
5 by 5. And so you'll find it, let's say it was the week of a no spend day and you accomplished it. Then you get to put your sticker on that bingo card. But that bingo card is not necessarily your bingo card. It's just a bingo card. And then when you come in the next week, you will pull a new bingo card. And you'll never know if that no spend for that day, for the week is on your bingo card or not. But as everybody does this, when there's actually a bingo, what will it mean for the office or for that person actually?
I don't think we were told the person who gets the bingo what their prize will be, but we were told that anyone who helped contribute to that bingo gets something of like monetary value. So I don't know if the person who's getting the bingo is in that same boat or if they get something different, but
they get monetary value. They just get a little bit more.
Okay.
So they're going to be the bingo, celebration. They were the last square to get the bingo. So they're going to get a monetary value. And then any person that helped them along the way, which would be identified by their sticker, is actually going to have a monetary value. So the reason I like doing this with the company is because you have people like me that love to set goals and will hold myself accountable. Will actually have other people hold me accountable. That's why I have a coach. I have a business coach that holds me accountable. But you have people like Irelynn, who is hugely successful, does things all the time that are little challenges, but she doesn't reward herself as much. She doesn't say, oh yeah, I accomplished that this week, because she just didn't make it like that mile marker. And that's what this bingo will do for some of those.
It's just like I was looking at a few of them, and it's like, again, cook for yourself twice in 1 week, vacuum your car and wash your car. I think one was like, I don't know, wash all your mirrors or something like in your
one of them was organize all the cabinets underneath your bathroom sinks.
Yeah.
Because how many times do we open up the cabinet and go, oh my gosh, I can't find anything? Or you have lotion that's like 50 years old that needs to be tossed, but you just never dive into it. It only takes 15 minutes, but you just never do it.
Yeah.
But if it's a bingo challenge and you can put a sticker on that bingo and help somebody or help yourself get the bingo, then why not, right?
Absolutely. And so I do think that I do things like that consistently throughout the year, but because I'm just not calling it a goal, I almost just like call it a chore, or I like called it an errand.
Right.
So I definitely think, I don't know, maybe 2026 will be the year I become a goal person.
I think the biggest thing is you have to find your why. And this goes out to anybody who is listening to this podcast. This is Jenni being real. You really need to find what gets you out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And it can be artsy fartsy. It can be a totally weird concept. I promise you, any concept that you come up with, all you have to do is then funnel it into what you do on a daily basis. And that can be with your work, that can be with your family, that can be relationship, it can be whatever. I promise you, you can make that funnel in. And then that's where you start setting up your mile markers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're moving into 2026. By the time you listen to this, you'll already be there. Mm-hmm. Maybe you've set some, resolutions, some goals, some mile markers. Maybe you haven't. If you haven't, maybe this is the time to think about it.
Yeah.
If you have, maybe this is the time to look back and say, how well are you doing?
Yeah. Like this episode, if just like me, your boss is also holding you hostage to do goals, and then comment on this episode if you actually agree with Jenni and like goals, and let us know what your goals are. So like if you're being held hostage and are a little bit like me, and then comment if you're a little bit like Jenni, and maybe we can
and make sure to subscribe, because
subscribe either way.
Irelynn and Jenni, we are going to be giving you some fun stuff throughout the year. pertaining to property management, real life, keeping it real, real estate in general. And we'd love to have you be a subscriber.
Absolutely. Let's fix 2026 and we'll see you guys next time.
I love it.
Bye, guys. See you later.
Oh, there you go. Sound good? Okay, good. I'll pass over to Irelynn. Here you go, Ken.
Thanks, Pops.